coming down that railroad track. Hey, look
Welcome back. You're listening to Home Wizards. I'm Cindy
Hey,
Dole.
I'm Eric Stroman.
And we love to improve your home and improve your life. And it's still kind of that time of year where you may not feel like you want to be completely working in the garden. You might not.
If you're in New York City, boy, you don't even
Yeah.
want to be outside for a minute. It's freezing with
It's cold there.
capital
There are
F.
a lot of problems. And so, but the idea is wherever you are, you can always perk up your space with one of my favorite things. It's a terrarium.
I love the terrarium. You made me a
Love the
lovely terrarium. It lasted
About
almost
a year. Yeah, it can last.
And the reason it didn't continue is because I think I overwatered it
It
toward
was
the end
the
there.
owner's manual. There was
That's
a
it.
problem with the manual
There you
somehow.
go. That's right.
Didn't get the manual.
Yep.
But you know what the thing is? It's so easy to do no matter what size space you have. This is a way to add not only a beautiful arrangement of green living plants.
Yeah.
It's going to be decorative. It's going to make you feel more uplifted, and it's going to boost your oxygen.
Which, I used to sit around that thing and huff it. Yeah, it's
And you'd feel like, wow,
yeah,
I'm
I was alive again. Yeah.
See? So I thought we could talk about what do you need to do. What are the best ways to make your own terrarium? So step one, you want to get a nice container. It's got to be a lovely large glass, like a hurricane vase, or maybe it could be a bowl, but you want it to be a glass container. Now, you could make one that's not clear, but I think you want to see the beauty in it because part of the plants are going to be, below the surface of the top of this vase.
Right.
So it's almost like it's a little city. It's a garden that's inside this
Well,
vase,
it's a complete environment is what you're doing.
complete environment. Yeah.
It's kind of amazing, actually, when you see the breakdown. It's like, you know how when they do Jell-O and you've got the layers of whipped cream and Jell-O and
Yes.
whipped cream. It's kind of that feeling. You see all these cool layers.
So if you don't have a hurricane vase or any kind of a large cylinder vase, get a couple of them when you're out and about, and you're going to use it and you're going to love this. And so here's what you need to consider. You're going to need the container. Here's one of the critical things is something called activated charcoal.
Yeah, that's the key. I remember you telling me about that. So what does that do and why?
So the thing is these plants, including the dirt and the soil, are going to live in this, solid vase without any drainage for like a year.
Oh, that's it.
So how would you feel if you didn't have any drainage?
I'd feel like I
You'd
was
feel-
rotting.
You'd feel kind of claustrophobic,
That's it.
and you probably would rot.
Yeah.
So what you do is you get this charcoal, and you can buy it at the garden, the nursery centers, and they're the little black, teeny tiny rocks, and that along with some of these other things we'll talk about, but that's the critical part. That's going to create drainage and also create a way of deodifying. They won't
So
have
it
that
also
odor.
so it wicks away the additional moisture. I like saying
Yeah.
that because I see it on certain clothing. Wicks away
Wicks
moisture.
away,
Yeah.
wicks away. So once you have the container and you get your special activated charcoal
Yeah.
pieces, you're going to have your potting soil. You're going to also want to get some decorative sheeting moss.
And
because,
you're using traditional potting soil?
Yeah.
That's it.
Well,
Okay.
there's more. And you're also going to get maybe some decorative rocks.
Yeah.
And then you want to have some of that really fun deer moss that comes in that kind of an apple green color. You can buy them by the bag at some of like Michael's and some of these different craftsy stores.
Right.
Because that looks really cool to put that on the very, very top so you feel like you're in almost like a pond environment. You're in this very oasis-rich piece of nature.
Very
and that's
nice.
right there in your jar. So now you're going to build your base. So what you will do is you're going to put about 1 or 2 inches of charcoal on the bottom.
Okay.
The very,
That's
very
layer
bottom.
one.
That's layer one. Okay. Then
And this charcoal, does it come in little briquettes or pieces, or what does it look? What does it really look like?
They look like little. Like little pieces of candy almost. I
Okay.
wouldn't want to eat them, but they look. Remember when we did chewing gum and it was like little chiclets?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a chiclet.
Okay.
It's like that, teeny tiny pieces.
Okay.
Then after that, you're going to combine some of the remaining charcoal because you won't use all of it. You use some leftover and you'll mix it with your potting soil in a bowl somewhere
Okay,
else.
off to the side,
Off
yeah.
to the side. So then now that is layer number 2. Okay, and so you add that, and so again you have about 2 inches of your charcoal, 2 inches of the soil on top of that.
Okay.
Then after that, now you add your plants, and we'll talk about some of the cool plants to get, but basically you get little miniature plants, and you keep them as is, take them out of their plastic container, and just kind of figure out where you want them to sit, right, in there. Space them out as you like them, like ferns and different kinds of shade-loving plants, right? And then you kind of squash them in. You kind of squash them and you tuck them in there, and then now you're going to add some top dressing.
And the top dressing is merely cosmetic, or does it also serve some function?
It serves some function because the whole idea is to separate the roots. Because now when you water it, because you'll water it maybe every 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then there might be a point where when it's really cold, you don't water for maybe a month. But
Wow.
the water will drain down, and as the roots grow, it'll keep draining, but you want that last part, like its feet, the feet of the plants, to not be sitting in water.
Okay.
And that's where the charcoal comes in because it absorbs it and it separates it, and so now the roots are on top of the charcoal and up above, and so they're not stuck to be
To
rotting.
rot
on
out.
the-
Yeah. Okay, good.
And so now on top of the plants, to add a little bit of, some deer moss, and then you can put some more decorative rocks on top of that. You water it, and you're done.
So it's 3 layers: charcoal, potting soil with a little leftover charcoal,
Some more decorative rocks, and then some moss.
and then moss. That's it. Wow.
So like really 4 layers. I mean, you
Okay.
could get by with 3, but I love adding that extra little moss because it makes it look like it's almost a little hobbit land. You know what I
man,
mean?
that's great.
Yeah.
And then you can put little figurines.
You
in
could put
there,
little figurines in there.
gnomes, whatever.
Yeah,
you
you
want.
could. So what about some of the different plants to consider? I mean, because we want this to be easy for you. I mean, it's all about shade loving plants. There's something called Moon Valley Friendship, and it's this kind of a plant where the leaves themselves have almost a blistered, textured effect, where they're very lime green, and they're almost like heart-shaped leaves.
Those are pretty.
Very, very pretty. And so ask for that. The Moon Valley Friendship plant, it has kind of a two-tone green look to it, right?
Wait, let me ask you something. Where do you put the terrarium light-wise for the exposure?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
So once you've created this, and when you get these certain plants, I mean, you can have it. It's great in a bathroom. I have several of these at home. I have one in the bathroom. It likes a little
That's
bit of
good
light.
because you get the steam from the
steam
shower,
from the
yeah.
moisture, and we have a bunch of different ferns inside there. But basically, you want to have indirect bright light. It
Okay,
shouldn't be
I
like in a
gotcha.
closet.
Not direct sunlight in a window, though.
You can have maybe an hour of direct sunlight,
Okay.
but that's the beauty of these terrariums is they don't need a lot of sunlight, but they want some bright light. Another great plant is called the variegated spider fern. And again, you're going to buy these in miniature size, or based on the
So
size
it's
of your container.
inexpensive, too,
Very
right?
inexpensive.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, your hurricane vase is going to run you maybe $10 to $15.
Okay.
The charcoal, another maybe $5. You have the plants. You can get those little teeny tiny ones by $2.99 a piece.
Yep.
$20, $30, you're done. You have a
Right.
beautiful thing. Another great plant to consider is the starfish plant. It's a really cool plant that looks literally like something from under the sea, and it's going to be slow growing, but add some texture to your terrarium. And the idea is to mix it up in textures. You want maybe one to be kind of long and leafy, and then another to be kind of fluffy. Like you could try getting golden club moss. It almost looks like it's a type of lettuce.
Yeah, that's almost like parsley and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you want to get a couple different shades of green, like a really lime green, and then maybe kind of a darker green, maybe almost a silver one. You can add air plants in there too. We love our air
Boy, mine are
plants.
going crazy.
Yeah.
You should see them. They're huge now.
And these air plants that look again almost like some kind of a sea creature, right, or something from like Avatar or outer space.
Right.
And you can just tuck that in there, and all it needs is a little bit of the moisture.
Because they don't root, right? They'll just hang. They'll just sit there on their own.
Can sit there on their
Yeah.
own. They'll be happy,
Right.
as long as this gets a little bit of that moisture. And don't forget some grasses, like this black mondo grass that we talk about a lot as
Pretty.
a great ground cover. That's going to give you that kind of a burgundy to dark green look, and it has these long, spindly, almost like a spider type of leaves. So anyway, add all these different textures, and you've got yourself your own garden in a vase.
Boy,
Terrarium.
I'll tell you, my kids love looking at that thing. They thought it was like a wonderland.
I know. We're going to make you another one.
I got to do it.
You're listening to Home Wizards. Remember, be sure to go to our website, yourhomewizards.com, because we love to improve your home and improve your life.